What is up, YouTube? Okay, so you guys really liked the college reaction video, and a lot of you were asking about my stats and how to apply to college and what the college admission process is like. So I'm here to answer your questions and make the college process easy for you guys. Because applying to college seems like a really complex and hard thing to do, but it's really so easy, and it frustrates me when people are like struggling with it and they think it's so hard and then they procrastinate and they don't apply to colleges and just get it over with, get it done. I actually ended up applying to all of my colleges early admission, and I had them all in by like October 1st, even though the deadline wasn't until like December-ish for early action. But I like to be prepared, I like to be ready, and then I didn't have to stress about it all school year, because I just was done. I was like, and I did apply to 10 colleges, so, okay. So I'm gonna start early on. So when you start high school, realize that everything you did in middle school does not matter. You have a fresh start for college. You can do whatever you want, but do some good stuff in high school. Get involved in extracurriculars. Start a club, maybe. I actually started a mental health awareness club at my school. Join sports or athletics or theater, choir, fine arts. Do something that makes you stand out and that you're not just somebody who just goes to school and then comes home, you know. So while you're in high school, do all that. Something very important is to make friends with your teachers, which doesn't seem like a huge deal, but it's very important because when it comes to letter of recommendations for college, you want to have those teachers that can talk really good about you and make you look awesome. So if you make friends with teachers, you'll feel comfortable asking them. And basically what my school had us do was fill out this sheet that told our teachers a little bit about us if they didn't know the full picture from what they saw in class. But you really do want to pick those teachers that know you. Some schools will require a letter of rec from your counselor, from your guidance counselor. So also, I didn't make friends with my guidance counselor, which I do regret, but actually I only needed one letter of rec from him, from one school I only needed, let me rephrase that. I only needed his letter of rec for one school. And it's actually the school I ended up going to, and they actually said that I got in because of those letter of recommendations that I had that were so glowing about me. So make friends with your teachers. Very important. Also, your junior year, you're going to want to take the SAT or the ACT, and you're going to want to either take a class or prepare and study hard for that. Yeah, I hate that numbers define people, but when it comes to college, but like, this is the one number that is important. But, so I took a SAT prep class, which I didn't get much out of, honestly. They gave us a really big book, an SAT prep book that just had a bunch of practice tests in them, and we're basically just supposed to do the practice test, and then they tell us the answers and work through a problem with us. Honestly, I could have just done it at home and saved $1,000. So I would recommend just buying a book from like Barnes & Noble or Amazon or whatever and doing practice tests at home, and then, because they explain all the answers in the back of the book anyways, so save your money, don't take the class unless you're like really struggling and not doing so hot. I ended up taking the SAT twice, and I got a super score of 1,300. So from there is where I started looking at my schools to apply to, and so which is about 1,300 is about equivalent of a 27 on the ACT. So from there I made a list of my reach, my target, and my safety schools. So I ended up applying to 4 reach schools, which is a lot, 3 targets, and 3 safeties, which is ideally what you want to have. You want to have like an even base of all of them so that you will get into the majority of your schools, or you'll at least get into some schools. And then you have your reach ones that are like, probably won't happen, but you might be underestimating yourself, so just to see. So I got into all of my safety schools automatically, basically, and I got into 2 of my target schools, 1 of my reach schools, so a total of 6 schools out of the 10 I applied to, which was what I was aiming for. So once you have these list of schools you're going to want to visit, do an official tour. This is really important. Don't just like walk around the campus yourself unless you're like really stretched for time. I think the most important thing is to do a visit, because all the schools I got into were the ones that I did an official tour through the college at. The ones I didn't get into, I actually just did a walk tour, or like a self-tour. So I don't know why that's so important, but I would definitely recommend doing that because it shows interest. Also, it's kind of weird, but when they send you emails, click on those links that they send you and that'll generate interest. They actually track all that stuff, which is kind of crazy, and I'm not really sure how that works, but it's a thing. Also, don't post on your social media while you're in the application process about any of the schools, because there's a chance the college will look at your social media and be like, oh, she liked that school better, so we're not gonna accept her. So just be safe. Don't post about it unless it's like Snapchat and deletes in 24 hours. Okay. So now we're getting to the actual application for college. First, you're gonna want to make a Common App account or a coalition account. They're basically the same, but they have different schools. So whatever the schools you want to apply to, make accounts on there. Those are basically accounts that will send your profile and all the basic information about you to the colleges, so you don't have to fill it out like 100 times by doing it on the college's individual website. Some colleges aren't on either of those, and you'll have to go directly through their website to do the application. So just be prepared for that and like make a list, make sure you know where all the applications are. Then your end of the junior year, you're gonna want to ask for those letters of rec from your teachers so that they have the summer to write them, and then in the fall you can remind them about it and you can get those from them really fast and easy. Then when you've done filling out your profile and you've written all the essays that each school requires, and the essays, there are different requirements for each school through the Common App or Coalition or the website. So make sure you stay on top of those. I would recommend having your parents help you look through all the essays and make sure that they're good and all the grammar's right and makes sense. Or even just go to like an English teacher and have them proofread it with you and help you out to make yourself sound a lot more bright and interesting. And then you're gonna want to send your test scores. A very common one is College Board. So you're gonna want to go in there and press send test scores. You get 4 free 4 sends when you take the SAT. At least I don't know about the ACT, but I'm guessing it's the same. And then all the other ones are like $12 to send them online, to send your test scores to the school. So I would recommend doing that as soon as possible. And then you're gonna want to send your transcripts. Usually, I'm not sure how all schools do this, but at least my school went through a website called Parchment, where our guidance counselors put our official transcripts online in this account, and then we were able to send them from there to all of the schools. Some schools do require paper to be sent to them. Very old-fashioned. Actually, the school I'm going to wanted the paper, the letter. So that's sometimes an extra like $2. Not a huge deal, but be aware of that, because those do take like 2 weeks to send, so you want to make sure you're hitting those deadlines. Which leads into my next point, which is make sure you're aware of all the deadlines you need. I would recommend making like a spreadsheet on like Google Sheets or Excel, just to keep track of all your deadlines. I also used a spreadsheet to keep track of all the college specs, like the size of the school, where it's located, and then I kind of did myself, like self-ranking on each school and what I liked about it, so that it was easier to make my decision when it came down to it. Then when you kind of have your ideas, when you've gotten all your decisions back, you're going to want to revisit, maybe if you have the money and the time, you're going to want to revisit those, like maybe the top 2 schools that you have, so you can make your final decision. I'd recommend doing an overnight or like a shadowing program, like sit in on those classes if you have the chance to, so that you can make your final decision a lot easier. Yes, and then that gets me to my stats. I guess I already told you my SAT score. My GPA was a 3.85. I believe that was weighted. I only took, I didn't take many AP classes. I took AP Psychology during my junior year, and then my senior year, which is now, I'm taking AP Environmental Science and AP Statistics. So you are going to want to send your AP scores to your college so you get credit. I would recommend taking these AP classes, but don't overload yourself, because that's just going to stress you out, and you're not going to get good grades if you're taking like all AP classes at once. So I hope you guys found this helpful. If you guys have questions, make sure to leave a comment. If you want more videos about college, also leave a comment. I am planning on making a rushing video, a dorm tour video, a college moving in day video. So if you guys want these, make sure to give this a like and comment and subscribe. And yeah, I'm done with the self-promo now, but thank you guys for watching. Bye!